All right, gang, welcome back to our Island Preservation Challenge here on Ronida Island. It is April still, and we've got a couple things still left to do that we need to accomplish, so we're going to go ahead and do that before we jump to the next month. One is obviously getting the stones up off this field and get it reseeded. Couple other fields that also need that same type of treatment, and yeah, we'll see what else we can get into today. But how's everyone doing? Hope you're all doing well. Things are good, man. Things are good. Now, if you haven't done so already, check out the most recent new series that we added to the channel. It's called The Nutty Brewer. It's a series about Z's adventure continuing on and purchasing an old abandoned brewery and trying to bring that back to life. Very excited about that series. The map was decided by one of my members, so make sure you go and check that out if you've yet to do so. It did release on Saturday, this last Saturday. So at this point, 2 days ago, it did release, and yeah, it's going well so far, in my opinion. I'm very excited about it. It won't be a super long series. I will tell you that it'll probably be somewhere in the range of 30 episodes or so. That'd be my guess. But I'm very, very excited to see where and how the adventure goes on that one, because it's a pretty good one, I think. It's going to be a lot of fun. So anyway, check that out if you haven't done so already. There are actually 2 episodes out by the time this is released for you to watch. Came out on Saturday and then came out on Sunday as well. Just did it back-to-back just since it's a brand new series, just to kind of get it up and running. Now, having said that, we are putting the Can You Survive 25 series on a bit of a break, or a bit of a hold, if you will, in favor of this series. It will come back soon enough, but we are going to put that on hold for a brief period of time while we get that series up and running and into its fullest, its full steam ahead on it, and then maybe we'll bring back the Can You Survive 25 series. Again, I mentioned before, when this happens, we were going to put a break of that on that series anyway. Not because I'm not enjoying it, not because we're going to stop doing anything on that series, but it's just a series that is going to, in essence, run for the eternity of FS25. So taking breaks here and there, I think, makes some sense, and maybe we just throw an episode in from time to time, right, as we move along here, because we are really making really good progress on that series, and I mean, I feel like we'll be kind of done and accomplish all the objectives that are really set out to accomplish, besides the fact of running it until the next iteration of Farming Simulator comes out. So we're just going to put it on a bit of a hold for the time being and come back to it here in a couple months. So also, just a quick note, just from a scheduling perspective, we're going to have more of a standardized schedule here for a little while, now that this series is live. More specifically, we will be doing that Nutty Brewer series on Sundays and Wednesdays, and then these 2 series will be the remaining of the rest of the week. So more than likely what you're going to be looking at here is this series will be Monday, Thursday, and probably Saturday, and the Triple Threat Challenge will be Tuesdays and Thursday, or Wednesday, or Fridays, excuse me, Tuesdays and Fridays. There may be some alternation there, from time to time, whenever, I've got maybe an extra video done for the Triple Threat or whatever, and then we do 3 that week versus, 3 of this every week, right? We'll kind of alternate that around a little bit, but I would say that the Monday and the Thursday for this series and the Tuesday and the Friday for the Triple Threat will be standardized, and then Saturday we'll probably just do a bit of an alternation there between the 2 series, right? At least that's the goal. So we've got our 3 series that we're going to be running here for the next couple of months. I hope they interest you. Hopefully you come back and watch. We're having a lot of fun with this series. Making a lot of money in the last episode. We still have a lot of money in the bank account. A lot of things to really do, right? One of those things we're going to do, and we're going to try to do it today, is get some cows down on the farm here. So that way we can actually start getting slurry and manure, etc., which is only going to help us as we progress here, right? Being able to get the fields in a much more high-yielding state than they have been in the past, right? So very, very excited about that. Obviously, it's not going to probably do a whole lot today, because we're just going to get the cows in today. But moving forward, the next time we have harvests and we reseed and redrill, we should be in a much, much better state to accomplish that. So this field, all done. Stones are up. We just got to get it drilled now. So we're going to unload this really quick, and then we will put a worker on, getting the cotton back into the field here. They might have some issues against the edge here of the fence, which you can kind of see. Actually, there's a little bit of rocks that were missed there as well, because they don't really like to go against the edge of that fence. I might actually just remove a bit of the land there to make it easier for the workers, right? I think we probably will do that. As a matter of fact, we can go ahead and do that right now, really. But I'll get the worker prepped and set up here. I'm just going to leave the stone picker there. I don't think we're going to need it again today, but I'm going to leave it there for right now, in case we do. How's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. Things are good, man. Things are good. Now, real quick, a shameless plug for my other channel. I do have a second channel. I've mentioned this a number of times in the past. If you're a fan of Halo, I am playing through right now on my other channel the Halo Campaign Evolved, which is basically a remake of the original Halo. Original Halo has a lot of meaning, and to me specifically, it's a huge game for me when I was a little bit younger. So, if that is something that interests you, all I'm trying to say is maybe go ahead and check out my other channel. There's a link down below. I would appreciate all of the support. Don't have to. If it's not interest of you at all, just ignore what I just said. But if it does sound interesting to you, or if you did play that game at some point and you want to see my take on the brand new remake of it, let me know, right? Let me know. All right, so let's jump into the Fiat. Actually, you know what? I just said we were going to do this. Let's go ahead and do it right now. Let's clean this area up here a little bit. Maybe it'll screw up with the worker, but you know what? It's fine if it does. Let's just add a little bit of grass here just to make it a little bit easier for the worker, and that way they don't have any issues here as we move along, right? Probably just have to reset them when I'm done with this. In other words, I have to realign the worker with doing work on this field. Whoops, we went a little further, but that's all right. It's going to happen. It doesn't have to be perfect, like I mentioned. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. Well, there's a little bit more again. That's all right. We can clean it up next time. It's not a big deal. All right, there we go. Workers back on. They should be fine now, and there shouldn't be any issues with the edge there of the fence. Good. All right, so what else do we have to do today? Well, that was part one. Part two is really getting the stroll up on all of these fields behind us, right? And then getting those fields ready to go. So, this is going to take a while. It is going to be a bit of a standardized thing that you've seen us do a lot. The one thing I'm considering doing here very, very soon with all the money that we have right now is maybe potentially buying the front windrower that you can get, right, for all this straw, which will help tremendously. It'll speed things up tremendously. I don't remember what it's under. I don't know if it's just under windrowers. I mean, that's when you pull behind, but technically we could still do it. But it's 55,000. Man, that is expensive, though. Holy cow, man, that is very expensive. Why is the larger one? Oh, I guess it's not larger. It just looks like it is. Okay. I'm just not quite sure. I mean, we've got lots of money, right? But I'm not quite sure it makes sense for us to get that yet. You know what I mean? Let's just see how this goes for a while. And I guess as we move along, if it gets to a point where we feel like we really probably should get it to make things go a little bit faster, then maybe we will. You know, certainly once we get a lot further along into the series, we've got a lot more going on. It's definitely going to be something we probably want to have, but we might be okay for the time being not buying it. Maybe we'll get lucky. Well, we won't, but maybe we'll get lucky and it'll pop up in the used market for us. That would be nice to have, right? We probably definitely need to make an upgrade to our forge wagon, though. It is a nice forge wagon. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not that large. We probably need to get a bigger one, right? And I guess we could go with, you know, one of these Colossus ones where it has the working with, the unrealistic working with type of stuff. Like, we guess we could do that, right? It seems like everyone else is utilizing some pretty unrealistic stuff, even though you're not really supposed to, but it seems like everyone else is. I know, something to think about. Something to think about. So I'm going to do something a little crazy here. Once we get the headland passes done here, I'm actually just going to be going straight across our little sandy track here and go into that side, because it looks like they are almost lined up perfectly, which is kind of funny. So that will save me time too. But yeah, hopefully you're all doing well, staying safe, all that good stuff, man. I'm doing the best I can, given all the circumstances that I've mentioned before. I'm not going to go into those again. I've gone into them plenty already. There's not really a reason to continue to harp on that, but doing the best I can, given the circumstances, man. I'm doing the best I can. I will say that I talked before that there was a potential that I might have to go to Toronto, which is where the other half of my company is. We have an office that's literally right by my house, and then there's an office in Toronto. And every once in a while I have to go up there, right? It looks like we're not going up there for a little while, which is good, because I thought it was going to be this week, which I was going to be struggling if it was this week to get enough videos out, at least for my members to watch early, right? Because they get early access to videos whenever they're done and recorded. I upload and edited. I upload them, even if I don't have everything done. In other words, I don't have the actual title right yet. I don't have thumbnails right. You know, I still put it out there early for them to watch, if they want to. And I was going to be worried that I wasn't going to have enough of those done. And second of all, I was going to be worried that I was even going to have enough done for all of us to watch in general, right? Without me being out there early, I was wondering if I was even going to have enough. So not going up there actually helped me out tremendously. I told you work has been brutal, and it has, and for multiple reasons. So it's nice that I didn't have to go up there, because it's given me a little bit of time, hopefully, to try to catch up on some stuff here too. Now, I would assume that we're probably going to be going up there sooner than later, though, but there's no timetable now, so which is good. Since it was supposed to be this week, it's good that there's no timetable, because, like I said, it gives me some time, so it's all good. It's all good. Let's see, what else? I don't know if I have anything else to talk about, which is, again, weird. I feel like lately that's been kind of the case, but the reason why that's been kind of the case lately is not probably why you think. It's just been, well, I'm not going to bring it up. We said we were going to continue to harp on the whole work thing, so we're not going to bring it back up. Anyway, so let's unload this. We're just going to keep putting this into our straw pole here, our silage pole, whatever you want to call it, straw stick, silage stick, whatever, because it holds the straw. So we might as well go ahead and put it in there. Can we open the gate, please? Okay. Alright, it's not letting me open it. Alright, let's just go here. Maybe I'm hitting the wrong button. I probably am. Well, let's go here. Open back door. Yeah, I hit literally every button but Y. I don't know why I didn't think about Y. I thought it was open, but it clearly was not. So anyway. But at least the straw's going in there. We have straw in there already. There's quite a bit in there, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of everything, really. There's a lot of grass. There's a lot of everything. Speaking of that, we do know for a fact we probably need to give the sheep some food. They have meadow grass. There's a little bit of grass remaining in there, but we'll probably take some food out of here, some grass out of here, and give that to the sheep, just to kind of get them in a better spot. The chickens should be okay for now. They pretty much accepted everything that we just harvested from these wheat and barley fields, right? So they should be good for a while, even though there's plenty of room to add more. They should be fine for the time being, so we'll carry on there without that. Now, the goal, as I mentioned before, is really the field straight across from us. That is going to be our what I'm going to call our chicken field, I guess. In other words, I'm going to be putting wheat or barley in that field all the time. It's not going to change. It's literally going to be there to help try to feed the chickens. We might have to expand and do another field for the chickens, because we've got a lot of chickens now. So I don't know, right? We'll see, I guess. But That's the intent. That's the goal, is to utilize this field and the field straight ahead of us right now. Combine these two once it's ready to harvest that field, of course. You know, and go from there. Now, I will say, and I think I mentioned this in the last episode, but I'll say it again briefly here. This field directly that we're picking up the straw on right now, this specific field, that's going to be combined with the field behind us when it's ready to harvest. It's going to sit here and kind of be a waste of space for a little while, because I'm not going to put anything in here until that field behind us is ready to harvest, right? But that's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm just relaying the fact that it is going to sit here without really anything to it, because we want to combine those two fields together, and I want to put them together and grow together instead of having two fields that are kind of combined together, but they're in different growing stages. I don't want that to happen, so we'll just take the time now to allow ourselves to do that. Let's see, what else? We did buy at least portion of the island in the last episode. At the very end of the last episode, we bought a portion of the island, so we can get started on the house if we decide we want to. Won't be today, I can tell you that much. It will not be today. But here, coming soon, it probably will be. We're going to be getting close to a point here where, besides this field, which this field is just oilseed radish anyway, but you know, besides when we start getting all the cotton back into all these fields, which we're kind of in the process of doing now, we really will have a bit of time, unless we buy more land, of course, that we really don't have a whole lot going on. So my vision, I guess, is that when that happens, which is probably in less than a handful of episodes, we'll start working on the house at that point, right? So we'll buy land that has trees, start knocking down the trees. We'll start getting the stones and getting those put to work to turn into stuff, right? We'll start putting down those productions and get that portion of the challenge underway, because we really need to get that going sooner than later, because it is going to take a while to get that whole house done, right? So what else? We have $714,000, which sounds like a lot, but when you take into the fact that the harvester we're going to get for the cotton is damn near $500,000, it's really not that much money, right? It's really not. So yeah. We'll see. When we put the cows in, again, that's more money, right? That's more money. All that stuff is going to take and cost money. So the odds are, I mean, we're not going to have a cotton field ready to harvest for a little while anyway, right? So we'll have other things to sell probably. This is the closest one, I think, for our cotton by far, and it's not anywhere close. I can tell you that. Cotton takes a long time, right? So I guess what I'm trying to get at is when it does, you know, come time to buy that harvester, we probably are going to be spending more than the amount of money we have in the bank right now. In other words, what I mean by that is if I'm going to save the exact amount I need for that harvester, right, which is around $500,000, there's a high chance that before we get to the harvester, we're going to have less than that. So we'll have other things to sell, and then when we sell those things, then we'll be in a much better state again, right? So I'm okay with going down. I guess that was a very terrible explanation. Let me try it again. In short, what I'm trying to get at is if we end up spending more money than I'm expecting us to spend, and we have less money than we actually need to buy the cotton harvester, we'll have things to sell that hopefully will get us back to that point. That's what I'm trying to get at, just very poorly, but that's what I'm trying to get at. So I'm not sure, gang, that I have anything else specifically to talk about. I thought I didn't a few seconds ago, but then I went on a bit of a rant there. Poorly worded rant, but I went on a rant nonetheless. Yeah, it won't take us long to get the rest of this done. We'll get this done, then we'll get the plow out, and we'll start plowing up this field at a bare minimum. We can plow that field too, but that one's not as big of a rush, again, as I already mentioned, considering we're going to combine it with that field in the distance. So it's not a huge deal if we don't get that one plowed up today, but yeah, we'll get this one plowed up at least, and then we'll probably start considering looking at the cows and seeing what really it's going to take for us to be able to get the cows down. I think we're going to buy more land over there, like I mentioned before. I'm pretty sure, let me just stop that real quick. I'm pretty sure I made this a little bit too far this way, so when I put it down, it's going to be kind of cutting over a little bit into this land, which we don't own. So we're probably going to have to buy another piece of land, which that's fine. I mean, we got to buy them all eventually at some point, right? But we just got to factor the fact in that that is going to be another $40,000 off of our bank account there that we otherwise probably could utilize elsewhere. Anyway, I've rambled for long enough. Let's get this done. Okay, yeah, I know I should have did this when I had already had it attached, but whatever, I decided I was going to do this because the worker kind of screwed me all up with having to finish up this field anyway. For whatever reason, I couldn't get the grass trigger point to actually put the grass into the forage wagon here, but whatever, we finally got it. So we're going to take this over here, drop this off at the sheep, obviously. The worker is working on plowing up that field there. They're getting pretty close, I think, to being done. And then we've got to put the oilseed radish in there, of course. I'm going to let the worker kind of continue to do that, which is a bit of a change from what I said. I said we were going to do the plowing, but we'll let the worker do it. It's not a big deal. And then we're going to start focusing on the cows here in just a brief moment, once I get this done. I need to really smooth this area out. Holy smokes. Okay, can I find a trigger point for this? There it is. Having all kinds of issues with the trigger points today for some reason. I don't know how much this actually stores. It might store a ton. It probably does store a ton, as a matter of fact. 13,000. Okay. How many pallets of wool do we have? Oh, we got a lot of wool over there. We need to get that over there and get some clothes going. Because next month will still be decent. So if we get another pallet, we could go sell it, right? So we'll do that here in just a second. We also have some things we can go and sell, but again, they're not really worth a whole lot of money, so I'm not really that focused on doing that yet. In other words, what I'm saying is some of the harvesting, the little manual harvesters we got, right? We can get rid of those. There's not really a reason to keep them anymore now that we actually have a legitimate harvester. But since they're not really worth so much, I'm kind of just waiting to take those to the shop until we're going to go buy something from the shop that we need the trailer for, right? I just don't... Let's just try to, you know, kill two birds with one stone and save ourselves a little bit of wear, tear, and gas when we're not really going to make hardly anything off of those anyway, right? So that's the way that I envision it, at least. So let's back this in here. That drill is probably going to be in the way, so I'm going to need to go move it. I thought it was going to be okay, but I wasn't really thinking about the headlands here that the worker's now doing. It's going to say that something's in the way, blocked by an object or whatever. It's fine for right now, but when it starts going on the outside headland pass, it's going to say that, so... I'm just going to move this down a little further, and then there shouldn't be any issues. Should be plenty of room, excuse me, for the worker to turn around and do all that stuff, right? So... Okay, so that's all said and done. So, like I said, let's get working on the cows now. And I'm just going to park that there for right now. I'm going to do a quick save just in case something crashes on me. I just don't want any crashing to occur if I can help it. I always seem to be the one that runs into those type of issues, so I really don't want that to happen if I can help it. So, yeah. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's put this on, and then let's go to here. Well, I guess you really... Oh, I just had a choking fit. Swallow before you speak, gang. Holy cow. Okay, anyway, it doesn't really show anything, so never mind. I don't know why I even put the map up. It doesn't really matter. So the cows, right? I talked about doing these, right? This is what we're going to probably do. Can I not place fence here? Why can I not place fence there? Weird. All right, well. I don't know why it's saying I cannot place fence there. Maybe we don't own this land. I thought we owned this. It's got to be that we don't own it. So I need to buy this plot right next to it. So we'll buy this plot of land. I mean, we got to buy it eventually anyway. It's expensive, right? But I think it's going to be worth it in the long run, considering what we're trying to do here. I hope this is going to work. Well, we own it now. It's too late. There's no going back now. Yeah, that's all it was. All it was the fact that okay, what do we got here? Let's see. Like I said, I want to give them some trees. They don't need tons of trees, but I want to give them some trees. I don't think you can customize the fence on this. I'm pretty sure you can at least. But I don't want the tree going like right through the middle of or the fence going right through the middle of a tree. Even if it's like overlapping a little bit, that's fine. But like I don't want it to look unrealistic, if that makes sense, right? Oh, you can customize it. Okay, never mind. I did not think you could customize it. Evidently you can, so ignore me completely. You can customize it. How about that? Yeah, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. I should be able to go and do exactly what I'm looking to do here. Collides with another item. What are we colliding with? Is it because I'm going too far up the hill? I guess it's what it is. Delete last segment. Whoa, what is happening here? All over the place here. It's not going to let me do it. I think it's because it's partially in the ground there. Yeah, I think we're going to have to shift gears. Maybe we go to here if it'll let me do here. It's going to let me do this one. This is fine. It's close enough. It's fine. Okay, it's not letting me finish it for some reason. I must not be going at the angle that it wants me to go at. Nope. There we go. Yes, let's plant meadow grass. Yes. Cost a lot of money to accomplish that. The fence is a little bit in the ground there, maybe. All right, well, hopefully this all works out. Now, the problem becomes, where am I going to get the slurry and all that stuff, right? Realistically, I think what we're going to do is eventually this field is going to become a little bit smaller. And again, it's not going to be a field for the entirety of the thing, right? I talked about that already in the past, right? That realistically, it's going to eventually be extended yard area, right? For buildings and productions and things. That's a big enclosure. Lots of trees for them to hang around in and, you know, stay cool in. I really, really like this. It's a weird shape, but I kind of like it. The only weird thing is the entrance here, but that's fine. All right, so now I know I need to put some stuff down. Do I still have all of that stuff installed? I don't know. I really don't know. What do we do with that? That's the storage storage, which we need. I don't know what to see if we can get this to work. I know that they guys were having some issues with this in the past. Milk storage. I just know for a fact they were having issues with it. So let's do this. Let's go here. I don't really know where I need to put this to be able to, you know, get it out, but I'm going to kind of hope that this is going to be sufficient here. Hopefully that works. I'm going to try something here. It might not be the smartest idea. I don't know. I don't think I should, actually, now that I think about it. I don't think I should. Where is that manure thing I've used in the past? Where was that under? Is that under productions? Or factories? I don't think it was. Maybe I removed it. Maybe that's why I can't find it. Well, no, maybe I removed it, or maybe it's just I'm just blind on where it is. Maybe it's under silos? There it is. It is under silos. Manure excavator. The manure excavator. So this is going to be a problem, right? I don't know where to put this because we don't really have a good spot to put this in, right? Because if I put it down right now, I mean, no matter what I do here, I'm going to be... I'm going to be taking away some of this field, and I don't necessarily want to do that. How long do we have until that field is ready to harvest? A while. Of course it's a while. I mean, I guess the thing I could do for the time being, right, until you know, we're ready, I could just not get slurry manure. It would delay the ability of us being able to really build up our fields even better, right? But I guess I could go that approach. Let me put a worker on starting to put the oilseed radish in this field while we continue to work with the cows there. But I guess we could go that approach. A little bit back here. Let me get this really quick, and then we'll put the worker on. Guess I should really just hit this whole edge here. There's some edges missed, but no, it's not really going to make that big of a difference, but might as well do it. Okay. Power spray, power washer coming very soon as well. That's not going to be that expensive. We can absolutely justify buying that. Our equipment is extremely dirty, so we'll be doing that very, very soon. I'm just going to leave this right here for right now, although it's not in its actual spot it should be in. I'm just going to leave it here just to save ourselves a bit of time, at least a few seconds of time. Okay. So I guess the only other thing we could consider doing is, you know, typical kind of manure pit. But I've heard from the guys that they've had issues with this if you don't utilize this excavator. That they've had issues with it. So, I mean, we're not removing all that much from there. Let's do it. Let's do it. If we lose a little bit, we lose a little bit, right? It's fine. It's not that big of a deal in my eyes. It's not that big of a deal. We lose a tiny bit of the crop there. It'll be a little bit more, you know, eventually. But for now, I'm not even going to probably focus on getting anything out of there because there's not going to be probably much coming out of there. Hopefully this is all set up and it works properly. Hopefully we don't have any issues with it. But and then the last thing we need was what we saw already, which I think was the extensions, right? But I think I also need the marker for it, too. I don't think I just need this. I think I need... This is just like a storage. It's not everything you need. I think there's something else I need as well. And I don't know where that was. Let me find this. I'll find it. Let me find it. All right. Well, I can't find it, gang. So I'll figure it out off camera. I'll find it. Maybe I uninstalled it. I very well could have. I'll find it and see if I can get it back in there. But let's head over here. Let's get some cows going here now. I don't know if this map is like the Farmlands map where they only need grass, but even if that's the case, we are going to be doing it the way we should be doing it. In other words, we're going to be doing it TMR, etc. Right? We're going to be going that whole approach. I'm going to go with babies first and foremost here. I'm going to go with babies and just kind of let them grow up, if you will. So I'm going to buy a bit. I'm going to buy quite a bit here. We can hold 1,000 cows, which is insanity. I'm going to buy 40 brown Swiss babies and 40 Holsteins. So we're going to start with 80 cows. These are just Angus, I think. Water buffalo, yeah. We're not going to do water buffalo because we're going to be doing those in the other series, the Triple Threat Challenge series, so we're not going to do that here. But we've got baby cows. They're going to grow up and they're going to produce so much for us. Look at how small they are. Look at them little guys. Look at them. You know what? I'm going to buy a few adults too. I lied to you. I'm going to buy a few adults too. Why not? Why not? Right? Why not? So we'll buy... We'll buy 5 of each. Not many. Not a bunch, but we'll buy 5. All right, there we go. Now you got some big boys in there too. Nice. Okay, so that puts us down to $559,639. We've got to get them some food, which we will do here in just a moment. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if they can just accept grass or not. But we do know we can bring them straw and grass right now, and we could technically bring them silage too. Hay, we'll have to get we'll have to make the hay work. Either we're going to have to utilize the silage stick to turn the grass into hay, or do something else to get it there, right? But if we need to go the approach, then we might just go with the TMR approach. And where am I going to? Where am I going? Where am I going? And if we go the TMR approach, then I think it doesn't even really make that big of a difference for that, because we're going to be putting it in some other production, and that other production can probably do the hay anyway, right? More than likely. But if it can't, then we've got the silage stick that we can utilize for that, right? There are some other productions that I have that I would like to probably use over the silage stick, because we use it so often, and I've mentioned many times in the past, right? I like to try to change things up whenever I can. Can't always do it, but whenever I can, I like to change things up. And I feel like that's something we can and probably should change up a little bit here. All right, just destroy that. Good job, Z. Way to go, buddy. So, first thing I'm going to do is get grass, because I just want to see what happens if I give them grass. We've got tons and tons of grass. We're going to have tons and tons more grass now. We're going to have to start fitting some grass type of equipment, right? Because we really don't have any of that anymore. But all this milk we're going to get, and if we can start combining that with eggs, that's it's going to produce a lot, right? If we can make the milk and the eggs and start doing some kind of a bakery type of thing, that's going to make us even more money, right? I don't know how the workers doing here. They're spinning around in circles. Hopefully they're okay. Looks like they're all right. Going to get the track going here too soon as well. The track in this area here. I said that we were going to put another track in right here, so we're going to get that going soon as well. Now, do they need water? It doesn't look like they do. Doesn't look like they need any water. Okay. All right, so they've got some food. I don't know how effective it is, but they've got some food nonetheless. Let's get some straw for the bedding. Same thing here. Same kind of setup. and then I'm gonna let it play out for a little while and see how it goes with the grass, if it actually is working or not. I know for the babies it should work, but you know, from the adults, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see what their health goes up to. Because if they accept just grass, then we're probably, just to make our lives a little bit easier, here, at least here earlier on, we'll probably just go with the grass approach, and then later on, we'll upgrade the TMR and everything else, right? Alright, let's get the straw in here. And that realistically should be all they specifically need, potentially, to start producing, right? Now, you're not going to see anything change here for a little while. You're going to have to wait, basically, until we hit 1 o'clock for, you know, to actually notice if anything's happening with them. And we'll probably be done with this episode before then, so we might have to just kind of wait until the next episode to see really what's happening with the cows. And if I needed to do anything else, and perhaps if I did, I might, you know, do it off camera. Who knows? But with all that said, gang, we are going to leave the episode at this point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like and subscribe button in case you've yet to do so. They are free to do, and it helps me out an absolute ton. Thanks to all of my members for all of their continued support. As always, I really do appreciate each and every single one of you. If you want early access to videos like this one, there's a link down below where you can become a member. Make sure you check out the second channel, as I mentioned before, if you're interested in what I'm doing there. Red Dead Redemption 2, almost done with that. And Halo Campaign Evolved, brand new remake of Halo, the original Halo. Discord's down below. Everything you need is down below. Shop is open, by the way. Should be an announcement yesterday, actually. I think I went out yesterday. So, shop's open if you're interested in that. If you're not, don't worry about it. But there is a link probably down below for that as well now. So, thanks so much for watching, gang. Thanks so much for your support, as always. It really does mean the world to me, gang. We've got a massive cow enclosure, and it looks like they're all having a great time in here. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.